Some people might have a little rock and roll pneumonia.
You wanted the best, you got the best from my home studio on Long Island, New York. Welcome to Ian Scotto Rocks. I am your host, Ian Scotto. For 41 long years, I have been waiting patiently for a Spinal Tap sequel. You guys may be thinking, Ian, how's that even possible? You're 39 years old. I don't want to get into all the technicalities of it. I loved the first Spinal Tap. There were so many great moments from it. And we've been hearing for a while about a Spinal Tap sequel, but it wasn't like a reality until, I guess, a couple years ago when they really were like, yes, we were writing a script, we're doing this, and then we saw the pictures of them shooting the movie, and I was amped for it. Although Rob Reiner makes it very hard to like him, quite honestly, as of lately. If you've watched his social media feed over the years, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And I don't care what your politics are. It's just that he is just incessantly on there. And especially during the last election, I remember, for example, he was like, I called RFK Jr. and I told him, if you run for president, you are destroying our democracy. And he said, I don't care, and hung up on me. And it's like, yeah, he doesn't really, if he wants to run for president, and if people wanted to vote for him, it is none of your business, and you're not going to stop him from doing so. But Rob Reiner's just become this very self-important guy, and I've seen people over the years drive themselves down the rabbit hole of this social media infatuation and being perpetually online, arguing with these phantom people that you're never going to see in real life. And it's like, Rob Reiner could live such a great quality of life from all the stuff that he's done, and he's just spending every hour arguing with people online, as we see many people do, celebrity and regular civilian alike. And I'm going to give you an example of this, because I realized I pulled something up on my phone. So I'll show you guys this on screen. At a certain point, he left X or Twitter to join the Blue Sky platform, which was supposed to be a more left-wing platform. And of course, this guy is just so easy to troll that people went over there to harass him as well. And instead of just saying, you know what, I'm not doing this anymore, he's one of these people who lets it get to him so much that he checked himself into a mental health facility. And those are the people that online people love to troll. So, you know, it all started with him going on there and going, thank you all for the positive and warm welcome. Then he writes, it's been a difficult past week. I will not let him bring me down, meaning Trump. I've decided to move here for a less hateful experience. And then 1 week later, he goes, this platform is vile, racist, and evil. It did not take long for MAGA scum to come spread their lies. I have made the decision to take the next few days to check into a facility for peace and relaxation. No phones, social media, no trolls, just calmness to heal my pain. And I just feel like if you have to check yourself into a mental health facility because you're arguing online with people that you're never going to have to deal with in real life, I don't know what to tell you. And I know for some people, when they see this, if they land somewhere politically, they might be like, you know what, I loved Spinal Tap, but I'm not going to go see the sequel. I'm not that guy. If what you put out is great, I'm going to go see it regardless, and I don't care what your politics are. But people have ostracized their fan base for politics on all sides. Look at Ted Nugent, for example. There was a time Ted Nugent, believe it or not, was playing arenas, and now he is more known for being like an incendiary right-wing figure than for his music. Anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about the movie, but it plays into this. So, yeah, I wasn't sure if this sequel would ever come out. You know, I've been waiting, and I did bring out these as props. I've been waiting for a Gremlins 3 to come out. Is that ever going to happen? I don't know. So when I heard there was a Spinal Tap 2, I said, I have to see this. And I saw it the night it came out in my local theater, although there aren't many local theaters left. And if you're a Long Island person, I went to, it's called the Roosevelt Raceway Theater, which hasn't really been updated in a long time. So it's not the most widely attended theater. So I wasn't surprised only to see my friend I went with and two other people in the theater. If you're local, maybe if I would have went to one of the nicer, more updated theaters like the Lynbrook Theater here or The Regal Westbury Stadium, there may have been more people, but I just don't know what the demand is for this Spinal Tap movie. But look, there's people like me who had so many laughs at the first one, they were dying to see these guys come back over 40 years later. And yeah, when the trailer came out, I sent it to my friend who I saw it with, and I remember him going, I just don't think this is going to be that funny. A lot of the jokes were in there, as you'll see, the tap water. You know, there's laughs like that, but there was something so special about the first one because it really dug into all these pitfalls and cliche things that happen to rock bands, and really that would just make you laugh, with the Stonehenge coming down in the first one, and of course all the many phases of the band and losing all the drummers, and Spinal Tap on the marquee, but Puppet Show and Spinal Tap. And it's been referenced by so many bands. Like, I've heard Metallica talk about their inspiration from the first Spinal Tap movie. And as a fan of a lot of these 80s bands, like, we've seen them fall into the cliches of Spinal Tap with less popularity as the years have gone by. So I was hoping we'd see some insight into what we see now of every band getting back together when the money is right. And it just felt like the jokes were kind of just thrown together to make a film. It almost seemed more like an SNL skit or something, or a quick YouTube series of like a Where Are They Now, than a really thought out film. And to me, it's like, if you had 40 years to think of the funniest material, they missed the mark for me. And there weren't those huge laughs. And in my head, I'm like, maybe the original just wouldn't live up if I watched it again today. But that's not the case, because all the best laughs I had during this movie were when they had the callbacks to the original movie, when they played Big Bottom and when they played Give Me Some Money. That stuff had me chuckling, for sure. And I don't know, maybe I'm in the minority, because I saw the fans on Rotten Tomatoes are giving it pretty good reviews. The critics, not so much. And also the cameos just seem thrown together. When I saw like Lars Ulrich on an iPad, and Questlove on an iPad, and the drummer for the Red Hot Chili Peppers on an iPad, I'm just like, did these guys say I can't make it to really do a in-person filming, so I'll do a cameo via iPad? Because that's what it seemed like to me. Now, they did have a huge cameo, and in there for a pretty decent amount of time, from Elton John. And that was cool, but I wonder if Elton John thought, man, this could be good for my career, which still is not wound down, despite having a farewell tour like everyone else. But I don't know how widely viewed this movie is going to be. And it goes back to what I started this video with. I think, like a lot of people, Rob Reiner's passion is no longer what made him famous. Unfortunately, and I've seen this from close people to me, his passion is arguing with strangers online. And I think his art has suffered because of that. And it's a shame. That's what the world has become for a lot of people, of everything arguing about politics constantly. And that's actually why I was so enthusiastic about making this channel. And it's much like why I love Eddie Trunk, because it's an escape from the politics. And some people will go, well, how could you talk about this trivial crap, you know, of bands reuniting when there's so many important issues going on in our world? And like, that's the stuff that makes life livable. And that's the stuff that makes life enjoyable for us, is having these passions. And I feel like a lot of people have lost track of that. You know, I see it in the comments sometimes. You know, it's my favorite comment, and I don't get wrapped up in arguing with people like Rob Reiner. But my favorite comment, and I see it on videos all the time of mine, is, who cares? Well, you care, because you clicked on this video, and I will always make it clear what we're talking about. So hopefully I get a who cares on this video. And once again, it's because people are like, this is trivial. This is trivial. How could people follow this? Or it's like, how could people follow professional sports? Because it's the stuff that makes life enjoyable. And a lot of people have lost sight of that. But as for the film, I'm not saying don't go see it. It's almost a blast from the past and see where are these characters 40 years later. But it does not have the appeal of the first movie. You may want to see it, though, in theaters and get the experience. So I'm not going to stop you. But I'll tell you, like, if you never saw it and you're a fan of Spinal Tap, go see CB4. CB4 was like the rap version of Spinal Tap with Chris Rock. And That movie was hysterical. Rest in peace to the legendary Charlie Murphy who was in that. That movie did it for me. This movie just didn't really do it for me. If you watched it, I want to see what you thought in the comments. Leave your comment below. I want to hear it. Be sure to like the video. Be sure to hype the video, which you'll see after you click like. That'll expand the reach of the audience. If you're feeling super generous, you could send us a super thanks by clicking the thanks button below. And the merch store is still available if you want to check out great mugs and t-shirts from right here at Ian Scotto Rocks that keep this channel going. And with that, be sure to binge watch more material here on Ian Scotto Rocks just by clicking right here, right where I'm pointing, and let me know if you watched it, what you thought of the Spinal Tap sequel.